What's up, my redheads? It's the best sniper in the world, the best Call of Duty player in the world, multi-platinum selling artist, billions of streams on Spotify, your boy, Ed Sheeran. And today we're playing Modern Warfare 3, quick scoping and free-for-all, and trick shotting last. So stick to the end to see what kind of trick shot I hit. It's a stinker! And this is story time with Jinja, where I tell you 100% true stories about my life. I'm Jinja, if you haven't figured that out. Hi, nice to meet you. Glad to have you here. Wait! Did you like the video, comment, subscribe, and put push notifications on yet? Because if you didn't, I'll wait.
I'm proud of you.
Ooh, that felt good. See, was that so hard? And today's topic is Florida Man. And if you're new to the Florida Man lore, Florida Man is typically a news article about a Florida man where it says Florida Man followed by something crazy. Like Florida Man cuts his wee-wee off and makes a hot dog out of it and then eats it. That's not a real Florida Man headline that I know of. Wouldn't shock me. Anyways, I know a real life Florida man. I went to college with him. Now, I would typically change his name to protect his identity, but the way this story ends, there is no protecting him. So in college, I had this friend named Stan. I remember I met him in the cafeteria. He wasn't hard to miss. He had a giant neck tattoo. And throughout the years, we got to know each other through mutual friends. We were never close friends ourselves, though. But we would talk here and there. Kinda. They weren't real conversations because he was out there. Also, I went to an art school. I probably should have specified that. So every time I saw him, he would say something weird or artsy about life. Like he would speak in poems. He would also talk about how he had a lot of demons in his head. And trust me, he did. I remember one time I was at a friend's house party and we were all drinking and having fun. And I was sitting on a couch on a patio and I was sitting right next to him. And I was drinking and having fun and I felt talkative. So I wanted to talk to him because we were kind of friends. So I was like, "How's your night going, Stan?" And he was just like, "I have demons in my head and they're talking to me." And I was like, "Oh, you're tripping acid. That's cool." So before I tell you his Florida Man story, I'm going to tell you an important story that led up to it that most people don't know because I experienced it firsthand. So in college, I lived in this big house near campus with like 7 other guys. No diddy. And it was like a frat house if all the frat house did was smoke weed. So right across the house on the same property was another house but way smaller where a drug dealer lived. So it was easy. Everybody in the house could just walk right across the steps to this other house and get their weed. Now, this house was notoriously known as the party house. It was nicknamed the Bando, also because you could buy illegal substances there. All the students that lived at this house prior threw the biggest parties, and any new student that moved into the house, it was their responsibility to keep throwing big parties. Also, the landlord was a student that went to the college, and he was younger than me. So Stan would come around this house all the time. Everybody at this house knew him, and he especially knew the drug dealer. They were best friends. So out of nowhere, Stan started getting in trouble with the law because he liked to graffiti. You know, art student at an art college, it makes sense. But he graffitied a fire truck. Like, what did firemen do to you? But then he dropped out of our college and basically went homeless. And then our drug dealer friend gave him acid, ecstasy, and a bunch of other drugs to sell to get money so he wouldn't be homeless. Now, the entrepreneur he is, instead of selling it, he started to take it all. So one night, the drug dealer, my landlord, and Stan all go to party in a city nearby. Me and my one friend don't go because we decided to take a trip back to my hometown, which is like 4 hours away, and I hadn't been back to my hometown in like 2 or 3 years at this point. So I randomly decided to go home and see my family. Now, after they finished partying in the city over, they all Ubered back to our house, but Stan got there before anybody. And when Stan got there, he broke the windows of the drug dealer's house, went inside his house, and started throwing weed and a bunch of other drugs out the window, and then called 911 to let them know that someone broke in the house. He was the one that broke in the house. He called the cops on himself. At this point, the drug dealer arrives at his house and sees that Stan broke in his house and threw all the drugs out the window. And he starts chasing Stan around being like, "What are you doing? Stop, please. I'm your friend. I'm trying to help you." And then the cops come and arrest the drug dealer. Obviously. And Stan, he actually got taken away on one of those like carts that they strap you to because I think he tried to bite and spit at police officers. Allegedly. I don't know if that part's true. I remember as all this is happening, I'm at my parents' house and I go on Snapchat to see a bunch of students from my college posting that my house got raided by the DEA. So many people were messaging me like, "Oh my God, are you okay? Why are there so many cops at your house? It's caution taped off." And I'm over here just like, and my mom's in the background like,
"Honey, what do you want for dinner?"
It's really crazy that I ironically wasn't at the house while this happened. But what's even crazier is that Stan tried to ask for my advice before this went down. I remember I was sitting on the patio of my house, about to get in my car to take the road trip home. And Stan came up to me saying he needed to talk to me. And I was like, okay. And he asked me, "Do you think drug dealers are bad?" Now, I didn't know what to say because At the same time, yes, drugs are bad and them dealing drugs is bad, but also people using drugs are bad. But you can argue that drug dealers pushing the drugs is influencing people to do them. So I told him I don't know. I still to this day don't know why he always came to me for advice. But what's even crazier is that somebody in my house had told me that Stan was looking for me all day trying to talk to me, but he couldn't find me. I was sleeping. He just didn't knock on my door. But I cut the conversation with him short when he did see me because I needed to leave town. If I told him, no, they're not bad people, maybe he wouldn't have done that. It's crazy to think about. Like, if I were to have just talked to him for 10 more seconds, would any of that stuff had happened? If I told him, no, they're not bad people, would he have done that? You can get lost in that type of thinking, but life is really weird like that. Also, what are the odds that I decided to leave town? I have never left town in college. I never went back home. It was really random that I decided to go home at that time. And when I did go home, a bunch of police raided my house. Now, some of you are probably like, wow, that story's crazy and kind of sad, but that's where it ends? No. Remember, he's a Florida man. So a few months go by, and then somebody sends me an article on Facebook. And lucky for you guys, I have the news article right here. And what is the headline of this news article, you may ask? Florida man found naked in chicken coop after manhunt. That's my homie. Let's read this, shall we? A 25-year-old Sarasota man, Sarasota is a place in Florida, is jailed in upstate New York after police say he crashed a stolen car and was found naked in a chicken coop after a 7-hour manhunt. State police say John MWII faces numerous charges, including criminal possession of stolen property for crashing an Audi A5 reported stolen in Florida, and cruelty to animals for unaliving a dog and some chickens. That's wild they just wrote some chickens. Like, they didn't even take the time to count how many chickens he unalived. Police say MWII crashed the Audi on Interstate 81 about 3 miles north of the Pennsylvania line Tuesday morning, rode a passing pickup truck for a mile, and ran into the woods. Police say he stopped at several homes, unaliving a dog at one, and attacking chickens at 2 others. He was arraigned Wednesday and jailed without bail. Police say he has requested a lawyer. Ain't no lawyer in this world saving you, buddy. Now, you probably got a lot of questions. One of them probably being, why does it say John MWII, but you keep saying his name is Stan? And my answer to that? I don't know. Everybody at the school called him Stan. In classes, teachers called him Stan. But in another article, he told cops his name was John Wick. I'll find the article where it says that, and I'll put it up on screen so you know I'm not lying. And has Stan ever seen the movie John Wick? Because John Wick would never unalive a dog. If anything, Stan made a John Wick out of this situation. There's a guy somewhere looking at Stan's picture, just doing push-ups, getting ready, just ready for revenge. And there's probably another guy out there working out, looking at pictures of his unalived chickens like, he killed my cocks. So yeah, that's my friend Stan, the Florida man. That's it for today's story time. You know I had to hit the trick shot for the game winner. And let me know what you thought of my story. And do you have any crazy stories about your friends? Let me know in the comments below. And I'll see you at dinner time. Me and your mom are talking. Sorry to break it to you.